Every morning, a silent decision is made before you speak to another person, before you check your phone, before you even place your feet on the floor. That decision quietly shapes your mood, your confidence, your focus, and the choices you will make for the rest of the day. Most people never notice it happening. They believe their day is controlled by luck, by other people, by unexpected problems, or by whatever appears on their schedule. But the truth is far more powerful. The direction of your day often begins with the direction of your first thoughts. Long before success becomes visible in someone's career, health, relationships, or mindset, it begins with a conversation that nobody else can hear. It happens inside the mind. That private conversation becomes the foundation for every action that follows. If the first words you tell yourself are filled with doubt, fear, frustration, or regret, your mind starts searching for proof that those thoughts are true. You become more impatient, more distracted, more likely to give up when something goes wrong. On the other hand, if your morning begins with thoughts that build strength, clarity, and purpose, your brain begins searching for opportunities instead of obstacles. This isn't about pretending life is perfect. It isn't about repeating empty phrases while ignoring reality. It is about training your mind to respond differently. It is about training your mind to respond differently before the world has a chance to influence, to the autry, conmint. Modern psychology continues to show that the way we frame our thoughts affects our emotions, our decisions, and even the habits we build over time. Small mental shifts, repeated every morning, slowly become part of who we are. That is why two people can wake up facing the exact same challenge, yet one moves forward with confidence, while the other feels defeated before the day even begins. The difference is often hidden in those first few minutes after waking up. Most people spend years trying to change their lives by changing everything around them. They buy new planners, set ambitious goals, follow strict routines, and search for the perfect productivity system. For a few days they feel excited. Then life becomes busy again, motivation disappears, and everything falls apart. They think they failed because they lacked discipline, when in reality, they skipped the most important step. They never changed the story they kept telling themselves. Every habit grows from a belief, and every belief grows from repeated thoughts. If you wake up believing that today will be stressful, your mind prepares for stress. If you wake up believing that you are not capable, your actions become smaller. If you constantly remind yourself of yesterday's mistakes, you carry yesterday into today without even realizing it. That invisible weight slowly becomes your identity. Many people spend years trapped inside this cycle because no one ever teaches them that. Changing your inner conversation is often the first step toward changing your outer life. The world constantly tells you what to think. News headlines compete for your attention. Social media tells you how successful you should already be. Advertisements convince you that you are missing something. Other people's opinions quietly shape your confidence. Before long, your own voice becomes difficult to hear. Yet the strongest people are not those who silence the world completely. They are the ones who learn to speak to themselves before the world speaks to them. That simple habit creates calm in the middle of chaos. It creates focus in the middle of distraction. It creates confidence without needing approval from anyone else. This is one of the biggest reasons why highly successful people often protect their mornings so carefully. They understand that once the mind is filled with noise, it becomes much harder to think clearly. What happens during the first moments of the day often echoes through every meeting, every conversation, every decision, and every challenge that follows. A strong morning does not guarantee a perfect day, but it gives you a stronger version of yourself to face whatever comes next. Throughout this video, you will discover 10 powerful things to tell yourself every single morning. These are not magical affirmations designed to instantly solve every problem. They are practical mental principles that can slowly reshape your mindset, strengthen your habits, improve your emotional resilience, and change the way you respond to everyday life. Each one builds on the last, creating a simple morning practice that becomes stronger with repetition. Some of these ideas may seem surprisingly simple, but do not underestimate them. History has shown that the biggest transformations often begin with the smallest daily actions. The most successful habits are rarely dramatic. They are quiet, consistent, and repeated long enough to become part of your identity. Along the way, you will also learn why your brain naturally pays more attention to negative thoughts than positive ones, why repeating the wrong story to yourself can quietly limit your potential for years, and why changing just a few sentences every morning can influence your confidence, your discipline, your relationships, and even the goals you believe are possible. One of the final lessons in this video is also the one that many people overlook, yet it has the power to tie everything together into one simple mindset that can completely change the way you approach every single day. Missing that final point means missing the habit that allows all the others to work together. So stay with me until the very end, because each lesson prepares you for the next. And by the time this video is over, you will have a complete morning mindset that you can begin using tomorrow. The best part is that none of these ideas require money, special talent, or perfect circumstances. They only require a willingness to choose your thoughts before your thoughts begin choosing. That choice may seem small, but repeated every morning, it can lead to remarkable changes over weeks, months, and years. Your future is not built in one extraordinary moment. It is built in ordinary mornings that most people ignore. Every sunrise quietly offers another chance to think differently, act differently, and become someone stronger than you were yesterday. The question is whether you will let the world decide how your day begins, or whether you will make that decision yourself. Welcome to Unshakeable Mindset, the place where we explore timeless wisdom, practical psychology, and powerful habits that help you build inner strength and lasting confidence. If you believe it's time to take control of your mind instead of letting your mind control you, make sure to subscribe to the channel and join this growing community. Now, let's begin with the first thing you should tell yourself every single morning. Today is a new beginning. Those 5 words may sound simple, but they carry more power than most people realize. Every morning, life quietly gives you a fresh page. The problem is that many people never write on that new page because they keep reading the old. 1. They wake up thinking about yesterday's mistakes, yesterday's arguments, yesterday's failures, and yesterday's disappointments. Before the day even starts, they have already convinced themselves that nothing will be different. The mind becomes trapped in a loop, replaying moments that cannot be changed. The more those memories are repeated, the more real they feel, until yesterday begins to control today. But yesterday has no power unless you carry it with you. Think about how often people define themselves by one bad decision, one missed opportunity, one embarrassing moment, or one failure. They stop seeing themselves as someone who made a mistake and start believing they are the mistake. That is where growth comes to a stop. The truth is that every successful person has failed many times. Every confident person has doubted themselves. Every strong person has experienced weakness. The difference is that they refuse to let yesterday become their permanent identity. Every sunrise arrives with the same quiet message. You are allowed to begin again. The sun does not ask what happened yesterday before it rises. Nature does not pause because someone made a mistake. Every new day continues moving forward, and you have the same opportunity. Instead of asking, "Why did I fail yesterday?" Ask yourself, what can I do differently today? That small change in thinking changes everything. One question keeps you trapped in regret. The other moves you toward growth. You cannot erase the past, but you can stop giving it permission to control your future. The moment you decide that today deserves your full attention, you begin creating a different life. Every choice you make today becomes another brick in the foundation of your future. Your future is never built by yesterday. It is built by what you decide to do right now. The second thing to tell yourself every morning is, I control my mind. This may be one of the hardest lessons to learn because life constantly presents situations that seem beyond our control. People disappoint us. Plans fall apart. Unexpected problems appear without warning. Traffic delays us. Work becomes stressful. Family issues arise. The weather changes. The economy changes. Other people make choices we cannot influence. If happiness depended on controlling every event, no one would ever feel at peace. But there is one thing that always remains within your reach: your response. Thoughts appear automatically throughout the day. Some are helpful. Others are negative, fearful, or completely unrealistic. The mistake many people make is believing that every thought deserves their trust. Just because a thought enters your mind does not mean it tells the truth. You may think, I will fail. That does not mean you will fail. You may think, I am not good enough. That does not make it a fact. The mind often reacts before it reflects. It creates stories based on fear instead of reality. Learning to pause before believing every thought is one of the greatest forms of mental procrastination. When something goes wrong, most people react immediately. They become angry, frustrated, anxious, or discouraged without taking a moment to question. Strong people are different. They create a small space between what happens and how they respond. Inside that space lies wisdom. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? They ask, how should I respond? That one question shifts the focus from emotion to action. You cannot stop every negative thought from entering your mind, but you can decide which thoughts deserve your attention. Your mind is like a garden. Thoughts will always appear, just as seeds are carried by the wind. But you decide which ones receive water. If you constantly feed fear, fear grows. If you feed courage, courage grows. If you feed gratitude, gratitude grows. Every morning, remind yourself that your mind belongs to you. Do not hand it over to fear, anger, or the opinions of others. Master your mind before the world tries to control it. The third thing to tell yourself every morning is, I don't need anyone's approval. This is one of the most freeing beliefs you can ever develop. Many people spend their entire lives trying to earn acceptance from others. They change their personality to fit in. They stay silent because they fear criticism. They chase praise as if it were proof of their worth. Yet no amount of approval ever feels like enough. The moment one person praises them, they begin worrying about someone else's opinion. It becomes an endless cycle. The truth is that most people are far less focused on you than you think. Everyone is dealing with their own worries, goals, insecurities, and responsibilities. While you are worrying about what others think, they are often worrying about themselves. Once you understand this, a heavy burden begins to disappear. You stop living as a performer and start living as yourself. Seeking constant validation is exhausting because it places your happiness in someone else's hands. If they approve of you, you feel confident. If they criticize you, your confidence disappears. That means other people are controlling your emotions without even realizing it. Real confidence works differently. It grows quietly from within. It comes from keeping promises to yourself, acting according to your values, and respecting the person you are becoming. Self-respect is stronger than applause because it does not disappear when opinions change. There will always be people who misunderstand you, disagree with you, or judge you unfairly. Trying to satisfy everyone is impossible. The more energy you spend chasing approval, the less energy you have to build your own life. Every morning, remind yourself that your value does not depend on how many people notice you, praise you, or agree with you. The strongest confidence comes from knowing who you are, even when nobody is watching. The fourth thing to tell yourself every morning is, small actions create big results. Many people wait for the perfect moment to change their lives. They promise themselves they will start next Monday, next month, or next year. They create huge plans that look exciting on paper but feel impossible to maintain. After a few days, they become overwhelmed and quit. Then they believe they lack discipline when the real problem was expecting massive change overnight. Real transformation almost never happens that way. It grows quietly through small actions repeated every single day. Reading a few pages each morning may not seem important, but over a year, it becomes several books. Saving a small amount of money each week may seem a small amount of money each week, may seem insignificant, but over time, it becomes financial security. Walking for 20 minutes each day may not feel impressive, but months later, your body and mind become stronger. Tiny actions seem invisible while they are happening, but their results become impossible to ignore. Every habit is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. Each time you choose a healthy meal, you vote for becoming healthier. Each time you keep your word, you vote for becoming more disciplined. Each time you practice instead of making excuses, you vote for becoming more skilled. Identity is built one decision at a time. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. Some mornings you feel inspired, other mornings you do not. If your progress depends only on motivation, it will always be inconsistent. But consistency creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates bigger actions. Before long, the small habits you once struggled to maintain become part of who you are. Extraordinary lives are rarely built through extraordinary moments. They are built through ordinary actions, repeated with patience. The fifth thing to tell yourself every morning is, I welcome challenges. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid difficulty. They hope every day will be comfortable, predictable, and easy. But comfort has never been the place where strength is created. Every skill you admire was developed through struggle. Every lesson that truly changed someone's life came after a difficult experience. Challenges are not punishments. They are teachers. Problems force you to think differently. Failure forces you to improve. Disappointment teaches patience. Rejection builds resilience. Uncertainty strengthens courage. Without these experiences, growth remains shallow. Think about the strongest people you know. Their strength did not appear by accident. It was earned through difficult seasons they refused to surrender to. They learned that every obstacle carries a lesson hidden inside it. Instead of asking why life is difficult, they began asking what life is trying to teach them. That simple shift transforms suffering into growth. 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 Every challenge you overcome increases your confidence because it proves you are stronger than you believed. The next time life becomes difficult, remind yourself that this moment is shaping a stronger version of you. Growth rarely feels comfortable while it is happening, but one day you will look back and realize that your hardest moments became the foundation of your greatest strengths. The truth is, your life will never change because of one big moment. It will change because of the small choices you make every single morning. The words you speak to yourself may seem invisible, but they quietly shape your thoughts. Your thoughts shape your actions. Your actions become your habits, and your habits become your future. Every sunrise gives you a chance to become a little wiser, a little stronger, and a little more disciplined than you were yesterday. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. You only need the courage to begin again, no matter what happened before. So tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you worry about your responsibilities, and before the world tells you who you should be, take a moment to remind yourself of these 10 powerful truths. Repeat them, believe them, most importantly, live them. At first, the changes may be small. You may notice yourself becoming a little calmer during stressful moments, a little more focused on your goals, a little less affected by other people's opinions. But those small changes will continue to grow, and one day you'll look back and realize that the person you once struggled to become has quietly become the person you are. Always remember this. Your mind is listening to every word you say. Make sure those words build you instead of breaking you. Because when you change the way you speak to yourself, you slowly change the way you see the world. And when your perspective changes, your life begins to change with it. If this video inspired you, let us know in the comments by writing, "Today is my new beginning." We'd love to see how many people are choosing to take control of their mindset starting today. If you enjoyed this video and want more powerful lessons on building mental strength, self-discipline, and lasting confidence, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Don't forget to like this video and share it with a friend or family member who could use these reminders every morning. You never know. One simple message could help someone completely change the direction of their life. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself. Keep strengthening your mind every single day. And we'll see you in the next video.